I'm excited to talk about right brain fractions today. Fractions are difficult for many students to learn. Here are a few reasons why. By the time children tackle fractions, they have an understanding of whole numbers, and fractions do not behave like whole numbers do. For example, in whole numbers, the larger the number, the larger the amount. 4 is larger than 2. While in fractions, the larger the denominator, the smaller the amount will be. And you cannot count fractions like you can count whole numbers. Between each fraction is an infinite number of possible fractions. Fractions are taught relying heavily on memorizing many terms and procedural steps. For those children who cannot learn via memorization and don't learn using steps and a procedure, learning how to compute with fractions is nearly impossible. Fractions and their associated rules are pretty much meaningless to students. They don't understand what is happening in each step, so the steps are hard to remember. Multiplication and division of fractions acts exactly the opposite to the same process with whole numbers. For example, with whole numbers, multiplying results in a larger number. With fractions, multiplying results in a smaller number. Here's how right brain fraction addresses these difficulties. Every term is defined in such a way that the very structure of each word is explored for its meaning. For example, numerator is broken into two parts. Ater means one who, and numer meaning enumerates or counts, which means the numerator is the one who counts. Each term is also stylized in a full color to show the meaning of the word. Real-life stories introduce students to the meaning behind the various steps and fractions, which helps students to remember what to do and why they're doing it, thus avoiding the need for memorization of the steps. Every lesson has hands-on components before the student ever deals with symbols and puts pencil to paper to solve problems. Models are used consistently so that students can see what is happening rather than just listening to an explanation of what is happening. Notes to the teacher as well as stories to read make teaching fractions simple for the teacher. Without having to engage in extensive training ahead of time, you can actually read through the book with your students. All activities, worksheets, assessments, and answer keys are included. This book is ready to be picked up and used. Right Brain Fractions is broken into 14 chapters, which begin with general concepts and terms and ends with dividing fractions. Each chapter has student problems embedded into the chapter, so the student work is easily accessible without having to search the back of the book. Pick up your copy of Right Brain Fractions today and give your visual child the solution to their fraction problems.